So today I want to talk about, have we seen the bottom for silver? So before I start off, I just want to say I'm not a financial advisor, I'm just a random guy on the internet, but I do not believe silver has bottomed. You gotta do your own research though, because yeah, I'm just a random guy on the internet sharing my thoughts and opinions on why I'm doing what I'm doing. But I think silver, we haven't seen the bottom for silver. I've got a few reasons why. To start off, everyone's anticipating a recovery for the economy. People are going to be allowed to go back to work. We're going to get the vaccine. Things are going to open up. There's going to be less restrictions in play. There's a lot more economic activity that will be happening. There's not going to be this shutdown period like we're having now, and there's a lot more employment opportunity in the near future when things are opened up, because it's not just people are allowed to go back to work. It's once that happens, people are going to start to feel comfortable to spend the money that they've been saving. There's a lot more savings in these uncertain times. Just look at the personal savings rate. It's shot up throughout the pandemic. My thoughts and opinions, it shows pretty clearly though about the personal savings rate. Just look into it. Initially it went up to like 30%. That's huge. Normally it's about 7%, 8%, somewhere around there. Yeah, it's all-time high during the pandemic. When the economy opens up, people are gonna feel free to spend money. People are gonna spend money. There's bent up demand for certain goods, certain services, all that fun stuff. It's gonna lead to getting rid of this fear trade that we do see with the precious metals. There is a fear trade with precious metals. It's not just people using it as a hedge against inflation. People are trying to gain wealth a lot of people try to gain wealth in these uncertain times by the fear trade. Although you could make a case that a lot of that went away once we started getting the vaccines being approved, all that fun stuff, all that awesome stuff. So yeah, once it got approved, you could say that's when the fear trade started to fade. That's what I believe. But then we're gonna have a lot more of the fear trade go away once people are allowed to go back to work, once people see employment numbers starting to get better, and they're gonna probably not be as intent on stacking when we have this rush to get more supply. That's just kind of the way I see things going, because there's a lack of supply right now, and there's a rush to get more supply onto the market, so to satisfy demand, because there's money to be made by doing that. When more supply is being rushed into the market and there could be a drop off in demand at the same time, that will lead to lower prices. It's all supply and demand. That's what it all boils down to. With the supply and demand, if inflation starts to kick in, if the economy recovers and overheats, gets too hot, too much economic activity, that means there's more jobs, too much employment, which in this monetary system is a bad thing because it leads to an inflation that is hard to control. It leads to more money circulating, demanding the same amount of goods that there previously was, and that devalues the dollar because there's just more of it out there circulating, more on the market, less demand for the dollars to be saved, and that could really start to skew the dollar's value, drop it down a decent amount. Once people see the dollar dropping, they tend to rush into precious metals as their hedge against that inflation. That is more of a, okay, now we need to hedge ourselves, not so much a fear trade. Fear trade is just uncertainty, and using as a hedge is basically people see inflation happening, they see an unwanted amount of inflation, they start stacking. That's kind of the way it goes. Just my thoughts, just my opinions. I'd love to know your guys' thoughts and opinions. And I also thought I'd show you my first piece that I sandcasted here. So I still need to cut it off the little base there. That's just the first piece I've ever done. Got my beaver, so yeah. For a first pour, you can see there's like the line down the bottom, but for the first time ever, I'm pretty happy with that. I didn't think it would come out quite that nice. And yeah, there was a bit starting to come out with the vent holes, but I just cut it off and flattened it out. But now I need to cut off the stem, file that down a bit, and it'll be a nice beaver once it's all done. Hope you guys enjoy it. I'm pretty happy about it. Or do you think I should leave the base, polish it up, and use that as a stamp, like a spot to stamp it? I'd love to know. So please comment down below what I should be doing with that. As I said, this is just the first piece I poured. I'd like to pour quite a few more and make some videos for you guys, but I just kind of wanted to learn my first time there, off camera and all that, just have fun with it. Yeah, please like, share, subscribe, stay positive, see you next time. Thanks.